Welcome, everyone, to Thundering Einherjar, episode 15. My name is Sam Lander, and I'll be your GM, and I have some players.
Good evening, my name is Zerger, playing Geralt Kenshin, the kid in a candy store known as a Congress-class frigate called Daedalus.
Hi, I'm Suda, playing Yvonne Horn, and I have new best friends, but I still hate Comstar.
I'm Hegemon Lur, playing Caleb Archer, who thinks that what's his is his, and what's yours is his. You just don't know it yet.
And I'm Eastborn, playing as Marina Haffa, who is probably just wandering around, not knowing what to do.
Weren't you with the crew at the Comstar Marina?
Oh, right. Yep. I forgot. I actually joined them. Yeah. Yep.
All right. So it is to avoid role playing with myself in a way that I am not competent with. It is a 15-minute conversation in which Alexandra explains to Natasha, my brain reset. Natasha, the fate of the Daedalus, and you can just see Natasha has a battle hardened, world weary, skeptical face when she first answered the phone, as it were. And by the end of Alexandra's explanation, her face has softened considerably, and she is staring directly into where Alexandra's eyes would be, except it's one of those things where she's staring directly into the monitor, and the webcam is just above said monitor. So it's that whole, you're staring slightly below the actual screen, but you guys can all see this expression on her face. And Natasha takes a few moments and looks at Alexander and says, you've missed quite a bit in the last 25 years of the Inner Sphere. I will not say you maybe was better that you were where you were, because we have lost many, but we have not lost all, and you lost your entire crew. We are halfway across the Inner Sphere from you. Best estimate, it would take us 6 months to get there, assuming we came directly. And because we'd have to go around the Curita. So as it is right now, I'm trying to remember exactly what world they're on. I believe Natasha is currently on New Iverson. Yes, I believe New Iverson, or in that area. So, they would have to go past Terra and then up similar route to what you guys took to get up here. And we just can't spare crew or ship to get there. We have Hanstavian has us fighting the Combine on the Draconis southern border. So I hate to tell you this, sister, but you should. And she pauses for a very long moment and then looks at all of you and says, well, before I get to that, perhaps you should introduce me to your saviors, and the end of that is definitely a question, although it's delivered with a fairly straight face. And Alexandra says, "Yes, Thundering Einherjar, mercenary company. If you guys could please introduce yourself. This is my sister, Natasha Kerensky of the Wolf's Dragoons."
It's an honor to meet you, ma'am. I'm Caleb Archer, formerly of Solaris. Einherjar have been a going concern for probably approaching a year now. We've had some significant success, and it's an honor to meet you.
She nods.
Mirena nervously steps up and stands attention with the hand to their temple, saying, Mirena Haffa, miss. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. And she looks, and significant success. You're on New Bergen, and this call is not being shortened, so I'm assuming you've had significant success on New Bergen. I looked up where the world is located before I got on the phone. So congratulations. You are fighting much the same as we are. Same opponent, at least.
Appears to be the case. We've had some resistance here, but it's something of a backwater, so we haven't drawn undue attention yet.
She smiles. If you've only been doing this for a year, I think the yet part of that is the most important part of your statement. She refocuses back on Alexandra and says, as much as it pains me to say so, you should... I am formally ordering you to scuttle the Daedalus, the Icarus, and whatever else might fall into unfriendly hands. You can't let the Curetans capture those and use them against us at the very least. Could I get a charisma plus notice from Mirena and Caleb, please? Caleb, you catch this and Mirena does not. You can see the muscles harden around Alexandra's eyes, and she gives a short nod and says, when will you have time, or when will you be able to pick me up? And Natasha says, I will forward you funds I will set up an account for you with Comstar and forward you funds. I suggest you, with the help of your friends that found you, get yourself to a Lyran world, and then a commercial flight from there should be able to get you here in 6 months to a year. I hate to say, I wish we could go faster, but the distances involved are ridiculous. So
Caleb's going to jump in and says, and talk directly to Natasha and say, "Hey, wait a minute. This is ridiculous. That's an awful shame to lose such a resource. What if we can crew it for you?"
She looks skeptical is an understatement. And then she goes to start saying something and then stops. And then kind of looks around the room at where she's sitting and says, She looks at you directly and says, if you can crew her, I I recommend. She's looking at you now because technically you outrank her, and also you're not in her command chain. She goes, I recommend that the Einherjar assist in the scuttling of the ship and don't. Take the Icarus. That seems a fair payment for what you did. I mean, you can save the Icarus. You can find crew for her. The Daedalus cannot be allowed. I don't think you'll find the crew for her. And she just leaves it at that. You can tell she's trying very hard to not describe why she thinks you can't drive or can't find the crew for the Daedalus.
Oh, she's something special. I don't have any doubts about that. And I'm not saying that we have the crew today that'll make her all she could be, but I think we could train up some crew to get there eventually. That's such a resource that you're just throwing away there.
She clears her throat and says, well, on to other matters. Yes. She sighs. If you can assist Alexandra to rejoin with the Dragoons, I'm sure the Dragoons could find it in our coffers to give a very, very high fee, or not fee, very high reward for rescuing her. She looks at Alexandra and says, in the end, I hope to see you again soon, sister, but I understand if your highest priority isn't making it back to us. It'll be safer if if I explain what's been going on in text conversations than she waves her hand at the voice call. Either way, it is good to see you back in the land of the living, and try to make sure that your friends there don't fly too close to the sun. Alexandra kind of looks around at everybody else in the room and looks back at Natasha and goes, the wings may be wax, but I'll make sure we don't let them get too hot. The call ends there. And then, Alexandra covers her, takes a second to center herself. Both you, Morena, you and Caleb can see that she's doing the silent, wipe the tear away crying. She's definitely holding up a good face, but can tell that entire exchange was rough emotionally. She looks at all of you and says, well, I think I'm done here for now. I'll check. I'm sure Natasha will be good for her word to get me a Comstar account, so I'll check back tomorrow for that. But I think we have a lot to discuss. And she stands up and goes to head out of the room.
Yep, I will follow along and make the way out to the vehicle.
All right. Geralt, about this time, you having discovered some door that's not on the plans, and having left it for now, since there's 4 people left on the ship right now? How many crew are currently on the Daedalus?
5 total, including Geralt, because it's me, the twins, Mariko, and the doctor.
You get a call from da 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 da. Why can I never remember her name? The female twin whose name I'm completely forgetting right now. Chelsea. Yes, thank you. You get intercom from Chelsea. It says, "Hey Geralt, you might find this interesting.
How? What? Yeah, sure. On my way.
Meet me on deck 42." And she gives a room, hall, and like gives it near the center line of the ship, kind of on the right hand side.
Yeah, he will pause the system he was browsing. He's in the days that the group has been gone, and since they found that door, he's been spending an hour and a half a day at the door trying things to get it open.
Everything you try has just gotten you sound.
Yeah. And the rest of the day is divvied up between physical exploration and systems exploration. And he was mid-systems exploration when he got the call, pauses whatever he was doing, and heads off ASAP towards Chelsea.
So short hop, skip, and a push away. You fall your way back to the center line of the ship. You find Chelsea kind of doing the same thing you're doing. She's 2 decks below one of the hangar doors and is near the skin of the ship, and she goes, "Hey Geralt, what do you make of this?" And she's pointing at what size did we... It's the white shark, but what size did we say? 1.5 meters wide, 3 meters long, no more than that.
16-ish meters long.
Yeah, 3.5 meters wide, 16-meter long tube. It's obviously got control fins retracted into it, and the variable nozzle thruster on the back of it, and a very large warhead on the front.
Huh. That kind of looks like an LRM, only ginormous.
Give me a program plus. Actually, you've been dealing with the systems. Program plus intelligence. 8. Yeah. So you bring up the systems log and you find you are in the ready ammunition locker for the White Shark launcher on this side of the ship. And per diagrams, nearly directly across the ship from you, there is another one of these.
Huh. White Shark just does a quick search for references to the White Shark warhead, whilst the motions for Chelsea. There's supposed to be another one like this on the other side of the ship. I'm gonna go look.
She nods and goes, "Yeah, it's covered in dust, but hey, we probably could get it working. I don't know. Good luck." Yeah, you head across the ship. It is not on the same. It's not on the same plane. It's like a deck up, and not quite in the same position, but basically mirrors the one on the other side. And yeah, ready ammunition locker.
Quick intercom over to Chelsea. Yep, got one this side too. Wonder what damage this thing will do.
You get a readout on it, and it is listed as a anti-fighter craft self-guided missile with a range of X and damage of Y. And you're pretty sure that it does something on the order of twice as much damage as an LRM 20 rack could dish out if every LRM hit. If I remember right, what the white chart does.
I'll just relay to Chelsea
no.
one more.
Yeah, about 2 are LRM 15 racks. Sorry.
The Big Boom anti-fighter anti-aerospace thing. Holy, we got 2 racks of these things.
All right. So about this time, Caleb, Morena, I think Denver was with you guys as well. Come walking out to find Yvonne fidgeting just a little ways away from Comstar itself.
So how'd it go? Who'd you meet? Tell me all about it.
Well, Yvonne, this might have been the one time that you wanted to go inside Comstar.
No, don't tell me that, please. No, who was it?
It was Natasha.
The Black Widow? You gotta talk to the Black Widow. God.
Alexandra kind of looks over at you, Yvonne, and goes, Black Widow.
Yeah, she's made a name for herself. She's like one of the top-ranked mech pilots in the galaxy.
Did she kill her lover or what?
No, not really, but it's kind of hard to explain. Her unit is basically like the ultimate assassins.
Just shock and surprise. Like surprise across Alexandra's face and goes, well, she was always a competent mech warrior, but you'll have to tell me sometime.
For sure. Wait a minute. I'm just putting 2 and 2 together. Your two's last name are the same.
It's because we're sisters.
You're sisters with the Black Widow? That makes you so much cooler than you already were.
You get just the single raised eyebrow. Very Spock expression of concern, disbelief, something like that. There's too much to explain, but yes, we're sisters.
That is so awesome. I'm sure you were glad to finally see her again.
I mean,
Tell you what, let's talk on our way back to the compound.
she nods. You guys head to your vehicle that you drove over here in. Get in, start heading back. Alexandra seems subdued, but is open to question. Like she's subdued, but she's not like ignoring you. And she like deep breath in, deep breath out, looks at you, Caleb, and goes, "You're not going to help me scuttle her, are you?"
Let's just say there's an extremely low possibility of that.
She laughs like that I am emotionally tired, but I found something amusing. Laugh. She laughs and says, "Yeah, I'm not keen on scuttling her either. What's the Einherjar pay like?"
Well, it was enough to get Geralt away from his unit, so it's not bad. It's probably pretty typical for a new Merc unit.
She nods and goes, "'Cause if I surrender my commission with the wolves, they're not going to keep paying me. They probably are going to send somebody up to get me if I do. So I may not let them know right away, but I won't lie to him. I won't lie to them either. But yeah, I tell you what, you hire me on, you find me a crew for the Daedalus, and the Daedalus you can keep. But if I think that she will fall into hostile hands, or if I think that we won't be able to find the crew for her, then I absolutely 100% will scuttle her. There's a lot about that ship that I don't think you understand.
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot about that ship that I don't understand. But I can tell you this. You won't need to scuttle her. We'll make it work.
It's good to hear that, Major. I'm glad. I have a lot of memories tied up in her. I don't suppose you know any jump ship captains, because I know my ship, but there's a lot more to flying the Daedalus than just getting her from system to system. might be good to send out some feelers outside of. Well, she did call this place a backwater. All right, Geralt's not there. Never mind. She wouldn't look at Geralt because Geralt's not there. What's the?
I will, however, out of character, mention that Caleb would know that Denver is a jump ship captain,
accurate
or
statement.
at least jump ship capable person.
So with the foci that Denver has, Denver is a jump ship captain and an aerospace fighter pilot, along with being a mech warrior. He's got the triumvirate?
The trifecta.
Trifecta, there we go.
Also, I know some buttons to press somewhere.
All right.
Well,
so,
Alexandra, I might know a guy, actually.
I figured...
Oh, no.
I figured you might, but we're going to need about 250 or 300 guys and gals and everybody in between. If we really want to crew her, and if you want to keep her, fight
How
her.
intelligent do all of those 300 have to be?
Well, space is about as forgiving as any vacuum can be, and you need to make sure that the people up there in space keep the space on the outside and don't let it in on the inside. And judging by what's around here, probably working with stuff they don't 100% understand.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're going to have to make a jump or two to get it fully crewed, but we can at least get a good start.
She nods. All right. I should get back up to her as soon as I can. So you guys are loading up the Icarus with crew, right? You planning on flying them back up to Daedalus?
Correct. Yes.
She nods. All right. So I next when you take the Icarus back up, I want to be headed with her.
I couldn't imagine it otherwise.
She nods. All right. And you guys head back, get back to the compound.
Question as a player.
Yep.
I don't remember how many crew were we sending up to the Icarus. I know we had talked about it, but I don't remember what the actual number was.
You guys were sending pretty much all of your techs, a lot of your Aztecs, I think. I don't know how many people do you have right now in the Einherjar?
I got 144 Aztecs and 13 techs. No,
So
12, 20, 25 techs.
25 techs. I'm thinking you're probably setting up 20 of your 25 techs, probably 100 of your Aztecs, and whoever else, like mech warriors and whatever you were planning on setting up as well. So I'll let you decide a specific number, but the Icarus can carry 200 people pretty easily. especially for just a 4-day flight. So and you know that the Daedalus is going to need a lot of work. Yeah, and the Icarus herself, to fly and land her properly, needs a crew of 43. And you have exactly one flight cleared person in your group. Roll me a how many you have 24 mech warriors?
24, I think, right now.
All right. So roll me a D100, please.
Oh boy.
An 89. All right.
It's pretty high, but is that good or bad?
Well, so I was gonna say, if you the number of people under 24 that you got would be the number of mech warriors who are also checked out on aerospace fighters. So 0.
none.
So none. And so New Bergen itself has a commercial flight, like school, and they have air breathing commercial jets and so on and so forth. And Stanislav has been recruiting, so you guys have enough bridge crew in new hires for the Icarus, but your Aztecs and your techs are going to have to be the engineering crew. So yeah, you can hire enough crew for the Icarus. But nobody currently you have other than Denver is checked out on flying dropships into space, nor flying aerospace fighters either in atmosphere or out. There are, like, you could put a hiring application on MERCnet. Basically let Comstar know that you're hiring, and they will distribute it to places that you can specify where, to hire basically mercenaries, all the way from techs all the way up through to, jump ship rated people. But New Bergen itself doesn't, like, they were not, with the exception of the captured Curetans that you have somewhere in Thundering Einherjar Plaza, nobody you are aware of on New Bergen is experienced with fighting. Well, I guess you haven't decided what you're doing with those captives yet.
Yeah, I was going to ask about those, because I'm thinking that we may need to recruit some more mech warriors, and some of them we're not going to want to hold forever.
So, per the request of them, you have not released them to the New Bergen government, because per Geralt, the New Bergen government would just execute a lot of them, committing one small war crime. You could turn them over to the Lyrans, who are currently here as basically prisoners of war, and the Lyrans would take them to POW camps that they are running off planet. Basically, they would be willing to do that. And the other option is try to recruit them, because at least a couple of them are familiar with Mariko. Like former Mariko had a former command over several of them. So you could try recruiting there for mech warriors at the very least.
Yeah, I expect that we would have done that.
Okay.
At least 4 or 5 mech warriors additional would be good. At least one more lance worth.
Sure. Give me 2d6, please. Somebody?
Yvonne, there you go. Oh, Caleb.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me!
Well, 4. So you were able to recruit a lance of mech warriors out of the Curetans, and then the remainder request that they be surrendered to the Lyrans while they're here. Units. I will give you a list of who they are. Not right now. It's the guy who you captured first, who was the Soma Okabe, I believe, would be one of them.
Yep, we can wrangle the details.
Yeah.
Later.
But yeah, four mech warriors. The rest you're gonna need to recruit from Mercnet, essentially. All right. Okay. So, question for you, Caleb. Since I don't know if you're remembering right now, were you going to ask some questions that Geralt wanted you to ask on your way back from the thing, or let that go?
I was planning to wait until we got in a more secure location because it's a fairly junior driver,
Right.
like a private that's driving us. So, and to be honest, I've forgotten the questions. So.
All right, so you guys get back to Thundering Einherjar Plaza. It's, I think this was like morning. It took like 4 hours. It's like middle of the afternoon right now. So you head in. You get one of Agamemnon's crew of people like runs up, hands you a data pad. And then runs off to do something you're not sure exactly what. Like there's a flurry of activity from his underlings pretty much always, and they often have things for you to sign. But you guys are able to head into a conference room or the mess hall, wherever you lead. At this point, Alexander's just kind of following.
Oh, let's I'm going to take us to a conference room and say, let's hop in here. I think there's a few things we need to work out, some next steps.
She nods, and heads in, finds a seat around the table. She's got a kind of the middle distance look on her face, but when you start talking, she focuses on your face. She's definitely hasn't had time to grieve yet, and she's definitely processing that now that she's talked to Natasha a little bit.
I'll let her get situated, and while she's sort of brooding, I will take a look at the data pad.
On it is the information. So you signed off on the year contract for New Bergen, which included the location, basically the base that they're going to build for you, near Voxadal. And so what this is basically bring everybody there. Kind of a layout of like buildings that will be built, buildings that will be purchased. So it's like this is in the not exactly suburbs of Voxadal, but essentially the like outskirts of town. You're definitely not in town itself. You're probably 4 or 5 kilometers out from the center of town. There are plans here for like reinforced wall, and like mech bays for, and they basically let you configure anywhere from 1 to 4 companies worth of mechs, depending on what you say. Depending on how many mech bays you have, there's different amounts for like defensive structures and size of barracks and like personal, like part of it is like inside of the wall structure there are some housings, like independent houses that would be good for like officers, and then outside of the wall structure there's basically a little town that they're planning on building around. And then off to, so north, the bases plan to be north of Voxadal. To the north, south, west, east of the base is a series of large like trial fields that are currently farm fields, essentially, where you can use it for like testing mechs out, or if you wanted to turn it into an aerospace port for the Einherjar, you could, but no, not part of the plans currently. To the north of the base is basically just open land, open for further development if you want to make the base bigger. To the west of the base is the structures for ammunition factories. That there are currently some factories there producing widgets, whatever. But basically conversion plans for those to produce any of the ammunition that the Einherjar might need. And then to the south of the base, there is a, I guess you'd call it a commercial district, that would have independent businesses from the Einherjar, but servicing the Einherjar. Bars and casinos and shops and, you know, all of that stuff, would have options for people to move in there and do it. Basically, but it is just there, any comments you want to make to it, and then there's a sign-off point on it as well.
Caleb will look it over, figure that most of it's pretty good, ramp it up to the max for the number of companies as far as mech bays and mech facilities.
Sure.
And sign off on it and
Okay.
shoot it off to Agamemnon's team.
Okay.
Then he'll see Geralt's message and scroll up, take a look at that, and bring it up on the screen and pass the data pad over to Alexandria and say, I think this one's for you.
She picks up the data pad and looks at it and goes, LF batteries? Yeah, that tracks. That makes sense, they were charging.
What are LF batteries?
She takes a moment. Give me a. Okay. She takes a moment and then blinks a couple times. Goes, lithium fusion batteries. So remember how we got here, right? We jumped out
I'm
of.
still not quite sure I understand what happened.
Right. So we jumped out of Lost Hope. And arrived at So we jumped out of Lost Hope and then arrived at Outpost, right? That's standard jump. And then we jumped out of Outpost and we arrived at New Bergen, because that's where you said you wanted to go. So
I thought that was just one jump.
No. That was 2. We jumped out of Lost Hope to Outpost, and then we jumped out of Outpost to New Bergen.
So you're telling me we didn't have to spend a week at Outpost because of this LF thing?
Yes. So there are some limitations to how useful they are. You can only store enough energy for 1 extra jump, and it takes just as long to charge them as it does to charge the jump drive. But if you ever find yourself in a place where you don't want to spend a week, then the lithium fusion battery is your friend.
Interesting, because I know a place where I don't want to spend a week.
Yes, you guys keep mentioning something about a contract. I'm not 100% sure what that is all about, but...
Well, let me fill you in. So I'm going to go ahead and sort of explain to her what we've signed on for.
She nods, and then she's like, what's a Helm memory core?
So it's a magic box. Basically,
That's helpful.
hey, all tech's a magic box to me, so Geralt might be able to give you more details, but it's got everybody up in arms. And if you can get your hands on one, it definitely will. Well, let's just say it'll make your company, your outfit a lot more effective.
Okay. Well, we might want one of those, but before that, I need to get back up to. Geralt could explain to me. I need to get back up to tomorrow. I need to get back up to the Daedalus, but I don't think we're heading out tonight. She looks at Denver and goes, don't leave me on the ground when you take everybody out there. And he nods at her. All right, Geralt. It's been a couple hours. You're still wandering the ship. What are you up to?
Poke my head through doors that can open, trying most of the panels that look like they can move. Just trying to figure out what makes this thing tick.
Okay, you find an incredible number of like maintenance panels, engineering panels. Like, this ship is well laid out for maintenance and like battle damage. You're getting the impression there's a lot of maintenance and damage control are easy on this ship, far easier than, like, you've been on jump ships before, and it seems like on a jump ship everything that you have to put a wrench to is always got you wedged at a 90-degree angle, bending the wrong way, upside down. It doesn't matter what it is, it's always in the wrong direction, at the wrong angle, in an uncomfortable space. This ship
And
is not that way.
with the wrong length wrench to reach the actual thing.
Exactly. This ship is not built that way. This ship looks like it is, from your eyes, easy to access all of the necessary bits.
Open hatch, turn knob, closed hatch.
Right.
Fixed done.
There's a lot of nitrogen filled spaces as well. Like, you can tell this thing is built so that fire has trouble propagating through it as well. About this time, you come across a well, we're gonna go with this. A cylinder of metal that is next to a, like, looks like the back end of a breach in the wall. 16 inches across, 2 feet long. Got a familiar-ish shape compared to, you've seen autocannon rounds before. This is like an autocannon round, but the big brother of it.
Autocannon on steroids.
Yes, exactly. Getting yourself back to the NAC 30 rounds. Actually, one of the loading stations for one.
I'll just ping someone, either of the twins, or, well, maybe he wouldn't. I don't think I would ping Mariko yet because of the snafu with the uniform.
Yeah, Mariko is on the bridge monitoring traffic. She's listening to what you guys are all doing, adding her recommendations and whatever else, and she's definitely the center of information, trying to keep track of where everybody is in case somebody needs to. Like, she is watching where everybody is on the exploded map that you can pull up onto the main holotable. So if somebody gets in trouble, she can send people there quickly.
So I'll probably message Chelsea, given we have the same exploring tendencies.
Right.
Asking her to borrow her for reference size.
She goes, okay. That's like, okay. I'll be there in a few minutes, and it's like she cuts herself off as she's mumbling halfway across the ship, But yeah, she heads back and joins you.
And Geralt will snap a picture of Chelsea Scarsy standing next to an NAC-30 round.
Caleb, about the end of
send off.
Yeah, the end of your conversation, you get looks like somebody's miniaturized Chelsea, because that is the AC-20 round that she's standing next to is the wrong size.
I'll show the picture to Alexandria and say, is there something odd about space on this ship that makes things the wrong size?
Wrong size? No, that's just an autocannon round. Naval
what in the world sort of gun shoots that?
Naval autocannon? Okay. I think there's a conversation we need to have when we're back on the Daedalus, about the ship's capabilities. And yeah, so Natasha doesn't trust Comstar. She looks over at Yvonne and goes, I don't think quite as much as you don't trust Comstar, but Natasha doesn't trust Comstar. And I got the impression she didn't want to talk about the Daedalus very much with them in between us. So I don't know what you have for... I don't know how many spies you might have around. But yeah, I think getting back aboard the Daedalus, and I can show you guys then as well.
Fair enough. Let's get the launch scheduled, Denver. 0600 tomorrow morning. Will that give you enough time to rest up from all your shuttle trips?
He nods. Yeah, I'll be good, and we can take the last of the crew up there as well at the same time.
All right. Sounds good. We've got plenty of time on the way to chat.
He nods, heads off to his room. It's like 5 p.m. Alexandra excuses herself to go find some supper since she didn't eat lunch. Yvonne, what are you up to?
I'm actually going to go find John, get in a couple good workouts before we hit microgravity again.
Okay. John is one of the people staying behind to help maintain mechs, while the majority of the techs are headed up to space. And he goes, oh, hey, Yvonne, here for lifting weights, or we doing some, not aerobatics.
Acrobatics?
No, that's not the one either. The one where you do a lot of running.
Aerobics.
Aerobics, there we go. You here for some weightlifting or some aerobics?
Weights. I've spent too much time in microgravity recently.
All right, let's get you set up. And he heads over to the weight sets, and he's got readouts of all of the weights that you generally have. Gets you set up. You're surprised. You're kind of amazed at how much time he spends in here, but it's for the benefit of the company as far as you can see. But yeah, he gets you set up for weights, spots you, make sure you're all set up, and about the time you're about halfway through your sets, you see Alexandra come into the weight room, kind of look around, spot you, and goes, Don't suppose you guys have some spare athletics uniforms or something around here I could borrow?
I mean, I don't have any in your size, but I'm sure we can find you one.
She laughs, and John's like, "Oh yeah, just right over here." And he heads off. He kind of sizes her up and goes, "Well, okay, so you're bigger than you're a little bigger than Caleb. You're bigger. You know what? You're just a little smaller than Arnstein was. You're narrower, but I think we got some stuff from him that might fit you. Here, come on." And he finds her like workout uniform sort of thing. Size for one Arnstein Eldon. So the heights are right, but the waist is all cinched in and the shirt is well too big. She kind of gives him an eyebrow, and he comes back over to help you, Yvonne. And she just shakes her head, takes the shirt off, throws it across the room, and works out in her sports bra. She starts doing, I guess you'd call it kata, martial arts motions. Poses is not the right term, but yeah, kata I think is the right term. And works her way through a bunch of she's obviously had martial arts training.
Dang. She's got the moves. I wonder if they'd let me back into the bars around town if I brought her with me.
John looks down at you and goes, "You know, I think we're going to have to wait till we get over to Voxadal before they'll let you back into any bars."
Come on. Have a little bit of faith.
I have a lot of faith, but I also remember the broken chairs.
So many broken chairs.
All right, Marina, what are you up to?
I'd probably be wandering around ship figuring out how the stuff works. Or trying to like wander around, see where everything is, and they say that.
Oh, okay. We're not headed back up. We're not headed back
No?
up yet,
Oh, wait.
but
Yeah, that was what I was planning. Otherwise, I'll probably just be just out of it, kind of, after
Okay.
meeting.
no problem. Caleb, ever since you got back, it's every 10 to 15 minutes, somebody walks up to you, hands you something to sign, waits for it to get signed, takes it away, until it's like 6:30 or maybe 7 o'clock, and Agamemnon hovers his way into the room.
Hey, Aggie, what's up?
How much more personnel are we going to be hiring? Like, do we need to renegotiate our contract with the New Bergen government to make sure we can pay for everybody?
That's a good question. We can cover it for a while, and I don't know that I necessarily want them covering everything. I don't want to be too dependent on them.
He nods.
So let's just say that we're going to be staffing up. That's for sure.
Do you want me to put some feelers out? Because it says here we've got a drop ship and some aerospace fighters as well. We're going to be adding them, or are we going to try to sell them off?
I'd much rather be able to utilize them than try and liquidate them. So, yeah, the tricky bit here is we're going to make sure that we're going to have to find some way to keep from getting spies. There's things about this setup that we don't want to be any too public.
All right. I'll start putting out feelers, Major. I think. I mean, Stanislav seems to know what he's talking about, and I think he kind of whispers into your ear. I think he might actually be a spy, but I think it's been okay. But I'll let him vet. He's he's rejected a bunch of people that I would have hired on, so I'll let him vet people. So I'll put it out on Comstar, see if we can get some bites, and we might have to hire some ships to get them over here, or we might have to go pick them up ourselves, but I'll see what I can get. Caleb, could I get 2d6 plus 3 for Agamemnon for Agamemnon hiring people?
Yeah, just a minute.
Mm-hmm. An 11 is a decent success, but not an amazing one. All right, so just make a note. You can... It will take you... Give me 1d6, please. 3. So 3 months can get you enough mech warriors and aerospace fighters to fully kit out your you have a full another company, or no, you have another
There's 2 companies on the Icarus.
at least. What does the Icarus got on her? Special notes. She has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 mechs on her.
Oh, so just one company.
One company. So 12 mech warriors and 12 aerospace fighters, since you guys have... you guys have 12 aerospace fighters between the Icarus and the Daedalus. So 3 months will get you outside mercenaries hired. Give me 2d6. Give me 2d6. So 24. Yeah. 2d6.
I rolled a 4.
Oh, a 4? So it is going to be 40,000 in hiring and basically hiring people, bonuses, and getting people here payments. So 3 months and you'll have a full crew for everybody, and then 40,000 out of your cash to do those hires.
Okay, I put notes into Discord.
Yep. All right. So the evening passes. Alexandra, Yvonne, if you watch her, she spends probably a good hour and an hour and a half, between an hour and a half doing like kata, and then she gets on a treadmill and spends another probably half an hour just running. But yeah, you guys, it's she eventually heads off to wherever you've assigned her for quarters, and finds a uniform from one of Agamemnon's minions, and after letting Agamemnon know that she's being hired on, she is a captain in rank, or you're gonna have to hire her on as a captain in rank, Hedge.
Got it.
And yeah, so she gets all crewed up. 6 a.m. rolls around, and you guys are headed back up to the Icarus with a full drop shuttle full of people. After like it's like a half an hour up there, but by the time you guys are loading into the bay, It smells very personal inside of this drop shuttle because you are fully, everybody's here.
Dang, Alexandra, that uniform looks good on you. Does this mean I have to start calling you ma'am?
She smiles and goes, well, I mean, yes. Major,
Roger that, ma'am.
it's good to sign on.
I can't tell you how happy we are to have you.
Well, you can make sure of that when we get back up to the Daedalus. You may decide that scuttling her is the right answer, but either way, she looks at Denver and goes, How long till we're there? Denver smiles and goes, well, it depends. How fast do you want us to get there? He looks over at you, Caleb. Fastest is a day and a half.
Ugh, that's a rough go. How long do those LF thingies take?
She goes, well, it took about 6 days for the jump drive to charge, so it'll take another 6-ish days for the lithium fusion batteries to charge.
So we had 4 days to plan it. How long were we on planet? 2 days? 3 days?
Three or four. Cause
Call it 4 days on planet. Maybe?
Yep.
So I think if we just take it the normal 4-day run, that'd be just about right.
All right. As you want. And he heads up to the bridge, feeling much more confident now, as the bridge, like, people have been being shown how to run the bridge on this place, and he spends some time with everybody, and about an hour later you feel the main drives light up and you guys start breaking orbit and working your way up to the zenith point. All right. Every day, so you guys are a 4-day trip out there. Geralt, how much time are you spending at the door?
At least an hour and a half every day.
Okay. So you literally try everything you can think of with your data whatever it's called.
Phase tab.
The phase tab. You try every system you can think to get into it, and there's literally nothing you can think of from a computer programming standpoint that will get you through this door. It's gonna have to be something that's not just hit a button and the thing opens up. You're not sure what that is, but it's something.
I would probably start looking at non-computerized ways to open it.
Give me an intelligence plus fix roll, please. Holy buckets. All right. With a 10. You think with enough time and some tools, you could literally deconstruct the area around this door and get it open. Like I said, this place is made for maintenance, and that includes things like internal doors into other areas. So it's not going to be necessarily super hard, but it's like 500 nuts you have to unscrew, followed by either wearing air rebreather gear or finding some way to make oxygen, make sure that the other side of, because this is air gapped door. There is literally, if you just take the door off, you're going to be in, the nitrogen atmosphere instead of being in the standard atmosphere. But you think at this point it is simply time will get you through this door. And it's going to be about 4 days. And you get word about this time that Caleb is headed up along with everybody else.
I'll probably send another message to Caleb before I start doing stupid things. Saying, "Hey, Caleb, ask Alexandra, what is the deal with the hidden door in the forend of the ship? Please."
I'll sort of look at the message and go, hidden. I'm not even going to try and figure it out. I just show it to Alexandria.
Give me a charisma plus notice, please, Caleb. She's not gonna beat it, but I can. Lying through her teeth, she goes, "I have no idea what he's talking about."
I will just look at her and wait.
Give me charisma plus talk, please.
While walking, I walk into Alexandra because I'm not paying attention. She stops.
Oh God.
Sorry.
Yeah. So you give her a look, which stops her, and like you guys are walking around the nice, comfortable 1G thrust of your way out to the Daedalus. Your look stops her in her tracks, and Morena, you run into the back of her because you're probably talking to Yvonne about something else. So you run into her. She is like, Morena's not a super big person, right?
No.
Okay, so you bounce off of her like she's a bulkhead. Like she is both built and, like, when you run into her, it's obvious that she knows how to take a blow, so that you just kind of bounce off of her. Give me a physical saving throw, please. Actually,
Okay. Character sheet, physical save.
oh, you catch yourself on Yvonne. Don't fall over, like. There's this tension between you and Alexandra, Caleb, until she finally goes, "Emergency supplies in case the ship is ever assaulted. If somebody tries to board her, and I'll leave it at that. What's in there is important, but I don't think you'll understand."
Well, if I know Geralt, he's gonna find out one way or the other. Can I give him anything that'll satisfy his curiosity enough to keep him at bay until we get there?
Tell him not to damage anything because it's dangerous. I don't know what he's tried, but if he's gonna try to cut it open, I think it's more dangerous than he thinks it is. Whatever he's found out, and I need to have a conversation with him as well, because that thing he has in his hand that he uses to interface with the ship, that if somebody captures it or somebody else has one, we could lose the ship the same way that he took it from me. We need to lock that out. We need to figure out what's going on with that and lock it out of the system. I know he loves being able to find out everything about my ship, but there's a danger there too.
Fair enough. I think you, me, and him are gonna definitely have to work out what this looks like. All right, I'll put something together, a text message to send back to Geralt saying, basically, have some patience. We don't want you to lose an eye or a hand. We'll discuss when we arrive.
So, Geralt, about 20 minutes after you've gotten all the tools you need, you've got Thomas and Chelsea here with you. You've kind of given them some, okay, so what we do is we start taking it apart this way. And you've just started to loosen the first set of bolts. You get that message from Caleb.
Deep sigh.
You have you have enough time. If you and Chelsea and Thomas work together, you could have this open by the time Caleb got here. No problem at all.
I'm sorry, just as a player, I'm thinking the GM says, step off the cliff. It'll be easy. It's all downhill from here.
Geralt will probably just give the hand up towards the twins, like, hold on a minute, and send off a new message. I know which 500 bolts to unbolt. What?
So yeah, it's 16 minutes. Like a little bit later, Caleb, you get the "I know which 500 bolts to unbolt" message back from Geralt.
Oh, jeepers! I'm not going to be able to stop him, am I? Let's see. Alexandra, is there something else that we might grab his attention with that maybe he hasn't found yet that'd be distracting?
I don't know. What hasn't he found yet? Considering the messages he's already sent, he's found most of the weaponry. She thinks for a bit and goes. She thinks for a little bit, and then she goes, send him this. The one on the bridge is easier to access.
Yeah, that'll do it. So I'll put together a message and to say, just so you know, the one on the bridge is easier to get into. Send it off.
16 minutes later, or 8 minutes, well, total transit time between the message you sent and the one coming back, Geralt. So 16 minutes after you sent the message, you get back that one.
Huh. What do you know? Different door, guys. Bolts off.
All right. You head to the bridge. Tai-E is there. She's... Since you guys told her she was that you were coming back, she's like, I'm gonna go crash. I've been up for 18 hours. Don't do anything that'll blow us up. And she heads off to one of the side rooms, probably the probably commander's quarters, because nobody's taken them over yet. So you should say that out loud here in a second, Suda. But she heads off and goes to crash in a bunk, and you spend the next 12 hours trying to figure out what Alexandra meant, and you find it about the time you are beat, wrung out, exhausted, but there is a interstitial space that is in the deck armor below you, basically in the floor of the bridge. There is an interstitial space in the castle armor for the bridge. It doesn't weaken the armor because the armor plates on the next deck down are reinforced around this, but there is absolutely another panel that opens up and says Armory-Bridge.
Oh, I'm getting in that hatch.
All right, give me another Tinker plus intelligence roll, please. Fix plus intelligence, yep.
Reroll.
4.
I'll take the 4.
Wow.
All right. So you start doing, and you think you got it, and 4 days from now you're going to find out that you didn't got it. But it's going to take you that entire time to figure that out. All right. Yeah, so Yvonne, I think you had a comment that you should say to Caleb.
Sir, with Geralt's attitude about the ship, does this mean I'm not the problem child anymore?
Yvonne, I can almost guarantee you're always going to be a problem child. But right now, unless something comes up like a baby sloth, you're not on my list.
Ooh, yay! Okay, I'm gonna go get some tea then.
Well, Alexandra looks at Caleb and goes, should we try to make it there before he can get into whatever he's finding right now? I can tolerate a few more G's.
Yeah, we'll probably want some time to settle everybody in as well once we get there before we try to jump. So it wouldn't hurt to have a day or two head start. I'll flip the intercom to Denver, say, let's up the rate a little bit. How about say 1.8 to 2 Gs?
He nods. All right, cutting transit time, and you guys get heavy. Like 2 Gs, you can still get up and walk around, but standing is rapidly exhausting, and the recommendation is always, if you don't have to move around, then find a G a G couch and sit in it. If you can lie down. Don't remain standing for too long. And you get a message back from Denver, goes, this ship flies like a butte, Major. Can I keep her?
You know what, Denver? We'll make use of her as long as we can.
Aye, Major. And you can feel like, anytime you've been in a high G transit in a previous dropship, so you've never done it in this dropship, but anytime you guys have been in a high G transit, including the time when you assaulted New Bergen, like, the ships always felt like they were trying to shake themselves apart. Like, there's always a shudder and stuff falls off of things, and it just always feels like the ship doesn't want to do it. This time, this dropship accelerated to 2 Gs. Well, is accelerating at 2 Gs. Was a smooth transition up to the higher Gs. There's no vibration. It doesn't seem like it's straining the hull at all. That said, it is definitely straining her crew. And as you guys approach the turnaround, about what? So a 1G transit to a 2G transit will have the flight time. So it's been
A little over a day in.
Denver says, "All right, I'm going to cut the engines early and give us about an hour of break at the turnover point because everybody needs a break from that." About a day in, Geralt, you guys are just starting to like, oh yeah, here's where it is. Here's the bolt pattern. Like, both Chelsea and Thomas have gone to sleep and come back, and you all are fiddling with it, and you think oh yeah, it's only going to take you a couple more days to get into this, but you're exhausted, so Tai at this point has gotten back up and says to you, Geralt, it's like, you should go find a bunk. I'm sure the Major will want you to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed when he gets here.
Yeah. Now where's that captain's quarters?
She points.
And yep. And he moses off, half fainting on the way.
All right. So I would like everybody, Caleb, Morena, Yvonne, give me a physical save for the second half of the journey. All right. I need to make one for Alexandra as well. Physical. Hopefully that worked. Haha. So Morena, you look like near the end when Denver is starting to taper this off as you guys are approaching the ship. You look and feel like pounded, like somebody took a great big poo on a piece of armor and then took a hammer to it and just started hitting it. Not like nauseous, but you've got bruises. You're just exhausted, tired. It's just you feel pretty brutal. Geralt, you're staring at this deck plating, wondering why you can't find the right bolts to unbolt the store, as you hear over the ship to ship Denver saying, Daedalus, this is the Icarus, request permission to connect.
What? Oh, yes, computer things do. Mosey on over to computer, look for indications of docking clamp and open or ready.
The forward docking clamp, which is where the Icarus has been docked up, or it'd actually be left and right. Or would it be top and... No, it'd be like left and right. So the right would be starboard?
Yep.
Left?
Yep.
Okay, so the starboard docking clamp is marked as basically open and ready. It is the one that the Icarus had been attached to.
Just ship the ship back. Glad to hear your voice. Starboard docking collar ready for docking.
Geralt, it's good to have you here. We'll be docking in about 5 minutes. You got the coffee warm?
Always.
Denver calls down Caleb. Coffee's warm. We'll be lodged in about 5 minutes, about 10 till you can board.
Thanks, Denver. We'll definitely be ready.
All right.
Geralt will shake the coffee pot next to the hatch where he's been working. Oh, need to put on more.
So you work out how to. You've made several pots of micro G coffee. This is the super not good, like freeze dried a century ago coffee that they have aboard the ship, since you haven't had a resupply from the ground yet.
Oh, so Caleb's favorite.
Exactly.
You
But
bet.
you can feel the clamp hold, like lock hold. Mariko's working the controls from the bridge to do so. And you feel, and so she's like, all right, positive connection, Icarus. Opening up bay doors now. Welcome aboard, everybody. All right, everybody, the ship awaits.
Geralt is pot and cups in hand on his way down to the docking collar to try and intercept Alexandra.
Yeah. Okay. So about the time that the everything opens up, positive seals and everything else, you've got the cups and pot here as Alexandra, Caleb, Yvonne, Morena, and like 30 Aztecs and like 4 Einherjar techs float out of the main like doors between the two ships. And everybody who hasn't been aboard the ship right now is like gasping in awe at just the size of this internal space.
Welcome home, Alexandra. Ma'am.
She smiles at you, like pats you on the shoulder, and then pushes off over towards Geralt and goes, so did you make it in?
No, the bolt pattern was different on the one on the bridge.
Good. There are things about this ship that are dangerous. Don't, she yells at somebody across the way, don't touch that, as somebody is about ready to move one of the like loading arms. I'm going to have about 800 hours to train people on how to run this ship. Okay, probably not that long, but give me at least a week, Major, to train people before we take this ship anywhere out of system. And I really don't want to fight her. But I think we have enough crew if we bring everybody over from the Icarus to fly her at least. She pushes off, heads towards the Texan Aztecs and starts like explaining stuff to them in a way that will get them doing things that need to be done. Leaving the 5 of the player characters all by themselves.
So, Geralt, just how much trouble have you gotten yourself into up here?
There's a lot of rooms here. The ship looks very easy to maintain and do damage control on, as opposed to jump ships otherwise, where if you need to get in, it's always the wrong place at the wrong angle with the wrong length tool.
Well, that gives me some hope. We're still going to be running light on crew. We aren't going to be able to man everything full time. We just don't have the people.
Did you ever get an explanation of what LF charging was supposed to mean?
Yeah, so let me see. It's long form. No, it's latitude function. Crud. I can't remember. Yeah, I'm going to have to ask her for what the number is, but basically it means we can jump twice.
Denver
What?
rolls his eyes.
Jump twice?
Like how we got. So, when we left Lost Hope and all of a sudden ended up at New Bergen, that I thought was some sort of super uber mega jump, but it was actually 2 jumps in a row.
I kind of noticed that because I felt like someone was trying to empty my stomach, and then it settled, and then people tried to empty my stomach again. So I kind of figured to jump it. Didn't we just do what the other jump ship was trying to do, like over hot load the jump coil or whatever?
Well, I thought that was dangerous, but evidently this LF thingy means that it's not dangerous. It just takes time.
Well, that's neat.
I can think of lots of things we could use it for, especially where we're headed next.
About half an hour, Alexandra started, like, she's got everybody data pads with instructions on them, and she started sending them to various parts of the ship, and she heads, like, floats her way back over to you guys. All right, to the bridge.
Lead the way, Captain.
She smiles, and she leads you guys back up to the bridge. There's a faint smile on her face, like you get when you haven't been home for too long and you're back. And she gets back to the bridge. The twins and Mariko are super busy, and I think Sue was left on the ship as well, right?
Correct.
All right. Sue is already packing up her medical bag and says, "All right, we've had our first accident. Nothing too serious, but I'm going to go down and give somebody some stitches and a conversation about sharp edges. I'll be back in about an hour or two. Nobody hit anything too hard while you're here." The batteries are fully charged at this point, I think.
Nope.
Still
No.
a couple of weeks.
Oh, right, because you guys burn fast.
2 days more charging, so they would probably be about 60-ish% now.
All right. So you get that readout on the ship display on the holotable. And Alexandra, like, you guys float onto the bridge. Sue heads off. Tai and the twins are busy, like, coordinating people. Since they've been, like, the twins have been exploring the place, they know kind of where stuff is and can help direct people. Tai is organizing stuff. And Alexandra floats over to the stasis pod, or cold sleep pod. Looks at it, says, "All right, we need to shift this." And she goes about 3 meters that direction. She points. Oh, hey, tools. Good. Geralt, bring those tools over. Well, we can disconnect it from the deck sole. This is 15 meters away from where you've been working, Geralt.
Yeah, I'll just bring the toolkit over and start unbolting with a query in his eyes. Why are we unbolting this? The hatch is back there. Doesn't say it, but just half-cocked eyebrow
All right.
while he's working.
Micro G, this, half-ton piece of equipment is relatively easy to shift. You just give it a light bump up and then give it a shove, and it drifts its way a little ways away. And there was a electrical panel underneath it that is now exposed. Looks like part of where at least this thing was the tube was getting its power from. She goes, "All right. So what we have here is a crowbar moment." And she looks over at the tool bag you got. And she goes, "Geralt, you see the 1 meter crowbar that is shaped very similarly to," and she points to an opening at this power panel.
Yeah, try to find the tool. I'm guessing it's at the bottom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's
Always at the
whatever tool you're looking for is always at the bottom of whatever you're looking for it in. But yeah, you find a 1 meter long breaker, or like the round type breaker bar, leverage enhancer.
Sort of. Is it sort of like the tools they use to lift manhole covers with?
A little bit like that, and a little bit like Half-Life, the tool that you get to hit aliens with.
Yeah. So basically halfway between a real crowbar and the manhole cover tool.
Right. She goes, all right, so what I want you to do is stand no less than 2 meters away and gently throw the crowbar so that it crosses those 2 contacts, and she points. And everybody else back up.
I will try shoving said crowbar at said contacts.
All right, give me a exert plus dexterity. Or strength. How accurate are you? 5. So first throw hits the deck sole next to the contacts without making contact.
Grumble, grumble, grumble. Go and retrieve the crowbar.
Come on, Geralt. You're the problem child. You're supposed to be able to cause problems now.
She goes, well, why don't you take a try, Yvonne?
I got this.
All right, exert plus dexterity or strength. There you go. So you know, do the whole lick a thumb, feel for the direction that the wind is flowing. There's no wind here. Get your feet steady beneath you. There's no gravity here, and give the bar a gentle push in the correct direction. And there is like a very bright, multi-thousand probably volt arc flash that evaporates the crowbar, and you guys hear a door open up in the deck sole behind you. And the space, like the air inside of here tastes like ozone and rust, and the twins and Tai are like, "What? Is everybody okay? What's going on?"
Geralt his head swivels towards the clicking sound of the hatch.
Hatch is open. There is a ladder that you can see on the backside of it that would be useful if you guys were under normal gravity.
I will look towards Alexandra, then just float my way over and start poking my head down.
All right, as you poke your head in, the lights for this room turn on. This is a relatively small space. And what you see inside of here looks everything in the world like 8-foot tall battle mechs. They're just a little over person size, like they're broader. There is a glass or plastic face, like helmet, it like attached to the top of this that has a glass face in it, that if you're, like a really tall person, or maybe you have the boots don't necessarily hit you at the floor, your feet would be where a head would be. But yes, look, everything in the world like little battle mechs.
And
There are
that's basically what he'll exclaim out the hatch. I didn't know they made mech this small.
And there are 6 of them in this room. It looks like there's enough room in the hatchway that leads down here for them to go up and down out of. And there's enough room inside of here to maneuver them around, but just. She goes,
Battle mechs? You gotta. What in the world are you talking about, Geralt? There ain't no way that there's space for battle mechs in here.
Alexandra's just kind of like she's near she's near the place where the crowbar fuse blew, and she's like cleaning up the fob that's now spread all over this place and like turning off the circuit and stuff. And she goes, there's a button down inside there that you need to hit, otherwise the thing's going to close in about, she looks at a chronometer on the side of the wall, 1 more minute.
Is there a conveniently labeled door keep open?
You with that amount of information, you can find the button and you hit it, and nothing happens, which is what you're hoping for.
And then I'll just repeat back up the club. Yeah. Mechs that are about 8 feet tall.
8 feet. What?
What, you
Okay.
mean exoskeletons or something?
Like little work mechs?
All right, so you guys, is everybody just gonna let Geralt yell it up, or are you guys gonna head down there?
I'm not
I
gonna go
didn't know
down
that
here.
there was room. Yeah, I was definitely. if
Oh, there's room?
Yes, then I'm on my way.
Yep.
I'm not gonna go down there, knowing what else could lie in wait for traps.
All right. So Caleb, you head down. Suda, you gonna head down too?
Negatory. I'm assisting Alexandra.
Okay, you're helping to clean up all of the particleized metal that is the remnants of this crowbar. Caleb, yeah, it boggles the mind, because you're like, your brain wants to say this is a battle mech that's at like 4,500 meters, 200 meters, something distant. So perspective would make it this height. Only you can reach out and touch it.
So I'm gonna pop my head back through the hatch to Alexander and go, "Are you sure that there's something on this ship that doesn't mess with the size of things? Like, did I add water to this and they grow, or what's going on here?"
So if you look at the helmet, if you lift the helmet up, should be able to be lifted up. There is a key switch on the neck ring. Hit it, and it should open the chest plate. What you have there is a set of power armor. From game terms, from Stars Without Number terms, what you have there is, let me find the armor. Nope. Before that, right? Nope. After that. Before vehicles? Hold on.
Should be before vehicles, I think. But
Yeah, it is. Armor type. Want to make sure I have the right. Yep, it is the okay, so game terms, page 65. There are 6 suits of storm armor there.
And I'm guessing the BattleTech name for these are elemental suits?
I mean, nobody's saying it, but yes. Alexander says they're power armor. And she goes,
that was just me as a player.
yeah. And she goes, judging from what I've seen of your troops on the ground and everything else, I would highly suggest that we reset this fuse and only use those if somebody tries to board the ship. But I didn't want Geralt triggering the defensive mechanisms on those doors, because we wouldn't want somebody else who tried to board this ship to be able to use these against us. So there are 2 grip, like each side has a gripper claw, that like if you open up the suit, you guys can find and adjust and make it fit you. It is definitely sized for somebody bigger than either of you. Possibly bigger than somebody even built to Alexandra's scale. But you can get in, and like the running of this suit is intuitive, like turning the power on. There's a set of instructions printed on the side of the wall for turning it on. And like you think you could run around in this stuff pretty easily. Left arm is there is a thing said that like it has a tri together claw that if you fold it back has a small laser, BattleTech equivalent to small laser in it. And the right arm is a manipulator hand, and there's a set of weapons that are across the deck from it. One of those weapons is like a 50 caliber machine gun. You're pretty sure, Geralt and Caleb, that these things use essentially miniaturized mech scale weapons. Small ones, but miniaturized mech scale weapons.
ER micro laser, micro pulse laser, machine guns, heavy machine guns.
It's a small laser and a machine gun. There's also a like rapid fire 40 millimeter grenade launcher over there. There's a set of like the grenade launcher has both basically you can, if you hook it up, you have the option of choosing from internal stuff, either smoke or frag grenades. But all in all, so Alexandra gets done as you guys are like cooing over this armor, and heads down, like floats her way down to it and says, we, like many things about this ship, you can't just take this off the ship and use it or sell it.
Yeah, not unless we want all 5 houses after us.
I doubt that anyone would know what to pay for something like this.
I don't. It's probably as much as a battle mech, considering.
For this? Oh no, it'd be in this kind of lost tech, that would be, you'd be looking at the cost of a dropship or more for something like this.
The point is, there are 6 of these bays. There are 6 bays with six armors in them, spread throughout the ship. They're generally, and I can point them out to you, Geralt, generally laid out in ways that if the ship is being assaulted, they are accessible to crew in those areas. But we should really tie these back up together and relock the door and then cover it back up, because I don't trust... necessarily don't trust all of your techs and Aztecs to keep quiet about what they're seeing on the ship. Some of it could be covered up. These, judging by what Natasha was saying, probably not. Somebody would want to know.
Yeah, I agree. Let's take a picture in your mind, but that's it. Doesn't leave the bridge. Doesn't leave this group. Let's button it back up.
I'll look around for any form of fuse reset levers or anything like that.
You can tell that Alexandra has already done that. Like, you looking over has put everything back in place, cleaned up all of the foreign objects that were left by the explosion of stuff, and says there's a reason why there's no direct access to this door, and that it takes somebody knowledgeable about which panel to hit with what kind of object in order to open this place up. it's not just you have to short out the wires in that panel. There's an inherent resistance to that crowbar that is specific to opening this to opening these doors. You'll find one of those crowbars in every mechanics kit on this ship.
Yep. And we're gonna need to replace the one in this one.
She nods. That's something I can help you build. There's fabrication, lathes and mills that we can and stuff we can build out of. I can show you how to do that. But yeah, let's see if we can get this ship up and running. Caleb, how long do we have to conduct this mission of yours?
I don't remember what the contract details were, but basically the quicker we can get it done, the better. We're already, let's see, between the missed jump and the time we spent tootling back and forth, we're about 2 weeks later than we'd hoped to be.
She nods. And Tai kind of pipes up and goes, the from what I'm reading from comm chatter and talking to the jump ships on the other side of the sun, the Lyrans are here for about another week.
Well, with 2 more days of charging, it seems that we can go and get back again in that time easily.
She nods. Yeah, but we need to. I don't want to do that again without crewing up, and we need some training time for everybody who's on board.
But we don't have to finish this before the Lyrans leave, so we just need it to disappear from Rosselhog, and that'll be sufficient. I can't imagine the Lyrans are going to stiff us on this one.
She nods. All right, give me. I tell you what, we're 2 days from charged. We're gonna do a week in 0G, and then I want a week with this crew at 1G operations, because they're different if you have just microgravity, zero gravity, or you're at full gravity. So I want to run crew through paces in 0G or in microgravity while we're still charging up, and then 0G and 1G thrust before we do anything. So 2 weeks sound acceptable, Major?
If that's what we need, that's what we need. It's longer than I'd hoped, but I'd rather run it through its paces than go through another misjump.
Shoot, you're not gonna want to go to a standard point, are you?
What was your first guess?
Okay, pirate points. Yeah. All right. Well, I'd like 2 weeks. If you want to cut it shorter, we can talk. But
let's see where we're at after 3 or 4 days, and then we can revisit it.
She nods. She looks over at Tai and goes, Marco, you've been doing well. I need an XO. And Mariko kind of looks over at you, Caleb.
I'll nod at her.
Mariko says, all right. I haven't been the executive officer on a ship before, but I'll do my best, Major. Captain. She goes, so I've been sleeping over there. Where do I sleep? And Mariko kind of chuckles and starts they put their heads together, and it's obvious that Mariko knows how to people, and Alexandra knows her ship, and they start doing stuff, kind of leaving you and the twins off to a side.
I'll start. Is the big hollow table available?
Yeah, big hollow tail's available.
I'll start maneuvering around and pointing out where I found the NAC 10, where I found the White Shark, and where I find the NAC 30 rounds, and I'll pivot towards the nose. That one I haven't checked out yet, indicating the killer whale bay.
Right. So yeah, there's a weapons bay listed up there, but you don't know what killer or what KW means. You figured out what NAC 10, NAC 30, and WS mean.
Well, girl, why don't we do some show and tell? You've been giving me pictures. How about you run me through the real thing?
Right, and I'll just mentally make a map that goes from NAC 30 through White Shark and NAC 10, which are in the same bay-ish, and then onwards towards the KW to figure out what that one is.
Right. Right.
Also, give him the tour on the way, like mess holes and things and thingamabobbers.
So you guys start exploring the ship. You find the killer whale missile, which is larger than the White Shark missile, which had been previous to now the largest missile that any of you had ever seen. You start exploring the ship. Caleb, you kind of fall into the commander role, directing people, like getting an overall picture of what people are doing and when they should be doing it. But it is quite obvious that Alexandra, this is her ship. She is captain here. You might be the commander and she takes orders from you, but she knows her ship. And it's not very long until Tai starts taking the executive officer role, falling into that almost better than she did as commander of a battle mech lance. With Alexander's guidance, you guys think the 150-ish crew that you have aboard ship? It's not even that much.
No, I think we've got about 120.
Yeah, the 120. You guys think the 120 crew that you have can crew everything except for the weapons bays. Like, and Alexander basically says that. Basically, don't worry about loading weapons, doing whatever. As long as we don't have to fight the ship, we should be good. And from what I've seen both on planet and in space since then, we should be able to outrun whatever we can't, whatever could try to hurt us. So I think we leave the weapons bays as they are until we can get her fully crewed. You guys spend a week in either 0G or microgravity. About this time, you get the final messages from the Commandant General. Yep. Get the final message from the Commandant General and let her know that you still plan on doing the mission. She acknowledges it and says that if the mission isn't completed within 30 days, we'll consider it failed. Who's feeling super lucky?
I'm not, but I'm willing to take a gamble.
All right, give me a D20 roll, Marina. A
Very
9.
average.
Okay, so you guys find out that the Schnecken, between the two hot loads that they had to do to get from Lost Hope to New Bergen, the Schnecken is a wreck, and you find out that they're planning on scuttling her. They strip off everything that useful as spares and whatever else, but they can't leave her behind And nobody in system can afford to buy a wrecked jump ship because you don't have that much money. So Invader class jump ship is gonna fall into the sun over the next few weeks. They have been furiously over the last week and a half since she jumped into the system, furiously stripping her of anything useful in other ships. By the time they're done, she is going to be a Hulk. Completely unpowered, completely unguided. But we get one more conversation from Anya at some point. It's a really long, slow conversation, Caleb, but basically comes down to good luck. We hope to see a successful mission. Either way, we're off to go continue the invasion on our front. If you can throw off forces at Russelhog, whatever you do to them will help us out in the end. So good luck on your mission. I hope to see you again.
Likewise, Commandant General. It's been an interesting time. We hope to distract well. It's what we do.
All right. You get a final communication of her like she just sends back her laughing at the comment, which seems a little ridiculous, but she's been amused by you before. And you guys get word from relay stations that the ships at the nadir point jump out, leaving one Invader class jump ship slowly descending towards the sun. About this point, oh yeah, you got that. About this point, you guys are all gathered on the bridge. There's the 5 player characters, Alexandra, the twins. There's like 15 people, somewhere between 15 and 20 people on the bridge. Probably 15 at this point. And Alexandra hits the bosun button on one of the consoles and says, all hands, prepare for gravity. She's explained to you guys what this entails. At this point, you've already folded the sail up into the ship. She kind of looks over and says, everybody, please prepare for 1G of thrust. Could I have everybody who is on the bridge please make a 2d6 plus dexterity plus pilot roll, please? Geralt, you've been ops. You can be a program plus intelligence roll. Or if somebody else wants to use a different skill, make an argument.
Pilot dex is actually better, I believe, because I have a +1 dex.
Right. All right. Well, Caleb?
Oh, like that.
Also,
Yeah.
I roll both skills at 3d6 drop lowest.
Well, it's better, I guess, but 10 was my number.
Okay. You all get the ship ready, close necessary doors, and this is the first time you have felt a warship's main engine light off. There is an entire different feeling than what you are used to. You all have been aboard dropships landing. You've been in hot drops. There is a 5 or 10 hertz pulse that starts echoing up from the bottom of the floor, and just the engine, like, you can tell the engines on the ship are massive. And you feel the ship slowly, like you feel your weight slowly piling on. And eventually you settle out at 1G. You are currently heading out system on a really big loop that'll take you away from the zenith point, take you past ish the planet but not super close to the planet, and then it'll land you somewhere in the near the nadir point in a week's time. But you'll spend that entire time far enough away from planets that if you need to jump in the meantime, you can. And like it like there's just this like low hum that becomes eventually a background noise, but you are now standing on deck souls that you have been floating above, or basically barely attached to for the last 2 weeks, or no week. And the ship the Tai looks up and says, ship is currently at 1G. All stations report nominal. Nothing fell apart. I think it's time to let her stretch her legs a little bit. Alexander looks at you guys and says, all right, let's start coordinating for our first mission. And we'll leave it there. So, thank you everybody for watching. I'll be back again. No, we won't be back again in 2 weeks. Because in 2 weeks, it is Christmas Day. I will not be available. And 2 weeks after that, likely the next tabletop RPG session will be on January 8th. I hope to see you all then. Thank you, players, for playing. I thank you, everybody else for watching. It has been great having you here. Bye.